This is a Charity Social Enterprise Local Initiative webinar hosted by whatimpact.com. And the purpose of this webinar is to talk about a little bit about our platform and the benefits, but mostly about kind of requirements from the company and corporate sector, private sector for partnerships, and what are the expectations, a little bit about procurement legislation, which is now requiring a lot of social value delivery as mandatory part of the contracts, which has given a lot of positive opportunities to the whole VCSE sector. And what does it mean then in order to collaborate with private sector organizations. And then we have a good chat with you people, about your comments and questions about collaboration with private sector organizations. With me here today is our COO, Philip, as you can see, and also Andriana and Mishka, who are part of the team and are actively involved in helping VCSEs to set up profiles and helping in the customer service tasks. Okay, so if we start now, and I'll show a couple of slides, and then we can also look at our platform impact reporting on the platform. And then we have the questions and answers in the end. So if you can say the questions or write them as they come to your mind in our chat. So here you can see my email, by the way. So you're welcome to email us anytime, or then our customer service, which is shona@whatimpact.com. So firstly, whatimpact, who are we? So we are a marketplace for charities, social enterprises, and local initiatives to connect with companies who are looking for partners for social value delivery, mostly. Companies traditionally have been working in local communities with VCSE sector throughout the decades and hundreds of years, I guess, and nowadays even more for CSR reasons and improving the ESG score and so forth. But also 2021 January, a sustainable procurement policy came to an effect here in the UK, which requires anybody who is bidding for government tenders to present social value plans when they are bidding for government tenders, and then when they actually win the contract, they have to deliver. And VCSE sector plays a big part in this kind of social value delivery. So there's been a lot of kind of demand from the company side, and our platform is this kind of a two-sided marketplace where we match organizations based on their profiles and the data that they have on the platform, and help them to communicate and use certain templates together to create then all kind of reporting and kind of matchmaking elements. We are matching VCSEs with companies based on money, skills, normal, non-skilled volunteering, service and product donations. And what is kind of unique about our platform is that our social value planning tool for companies and the reporting tool of social impact, what the VCSEs are delivering for the companies against the donations, are aligned with the government's social value model, and also the social value framework, which are used in this sustainable procurement and government contracting. Our platform pulls data from charity commissions from England, Scotland, and Wales. So if you're a charity, when you log into our system and start setting up your charitable profile, our system recognizes your charity immediately and pulls data automatically to API from Charity Commission, displaying your basic details, your snapshot of financials, your trustees, and so forth. So we pull this data to help in due diligence, and you don't have to then provide them separately. If you're a social enterprise, you can use company's house data and company's house profile, which every single listed kind of company and social enterprise has on the platform. And then if you're unregistered community group, you are giving data in more kind of a verbal format, and our profiles for each type of an organization who are kind of like on a recipient position in the platform, they can then fill in their details in a little bit different manner. But the point here is to give a really good transparent, engaging view of your impact and the work, the beneficiaries, local areas that you are reaching, and so forth. So it's easy for anybody who has anything to donate or wants to volunteer with you, collaborate with you. They understand clearly what you're doing already just based on your profile. Your profile operates also as a matchmaking kind of element. So once you have set up the profile and a project on our platform, you actually apply to any single resource by using this profile. You don't have to anymore fill in any lengthy application formats or give any other information really. You can just apply with your profile. One of the other kind of a special feature in our platform is what other platforms don't kind of provide, that companies actually place these kind of offers on the platform. And you don't have to seek for the offers. You will be notified every time there will be public offers on the platform. So they might be company offering little grant, or we've been having all kind of production services being offered, whether it's helping to build a bridge or renovating a clubhouse or whatever they want to offer, and you will be notified, and you can then see whether you wish to apply for this offer. And that's really by just clicking a button. Also, the good feature is our communication channel, where you can start communicating with these organizations who have something to donate. Make sure that the messaging goes to the right person of the company, and it operates a little bit similar than LinkedIn private messaging service. And then kind of a unique approach is that if you actually connect with the organization who donates something or volunteers with you, you can use our semi-automated impact reporting system, which delivers you quite nice report that you can give back against the donation. And I will tell you a little bit more about it a little bit later in this presentation. But I thought that at this point we would go through a little bit about the social value requirements in public sector kind of procurement, because this has now created a lot of opportunities for VCSEs to collaborate with companies, and our platform is not solely built for this purpose, but a lot of companies are using it now for this purpose. We just last week published a white paper, which was studying a lot of social value management job roles and what kind of challenges people face and how companies are running their social value. And even that research demonstrated that 77% of the 150 participants actually were doing or were collaborating with VCSEs because they were they were applying for government tenders. They didn't do that solely because of that reason. Of course, companies are doing this for leaving positive legacy. They have a CSR strategies. They are trying to improve their ESG benchmarking scores and so forth. But public sector procurement is a huge kind of a piece of private sector income. And now, since social value in any bid is scored minimum 10% of the contract scoring, it starts to matter, and companies are really winning the government tenders based on what kind of plans they deliver and what kind of impact they are or at least claim to make on the ground. This image here demonstrates that this kind of sustainable procurement is not only UK-based innovation. It applies to various other countries at the moment, and this has created a big kind of opportunity for charities, social enterprises, to kind of get more corporate support because of the mandatory element of it. So just a little bit background for this kind of Social Value Act related procurement policy note. Originally, this all started from UN Sustainable Development Goals, which are actually one of the filtering criteria for you guys on our platform. So all of your organizations can be also filtered by UN Sustainable Development Goals. But then during the COVID pandemic, UK government then started creating this procurement policy note 0620, which was launched as it states, in the second half of 2020, and it came to an effect January 2021. And since then, it has been rolled to local government, police, water companies, NHS, central government, and so forth. And how this is rolled, this kind of social value requirement, I wanted to little bit inform you about this. Some of you might be aware of this, but I think it's something that we face on weekly basis, that VCSE sector is not necessarily informed enough of the social value frameworks, and kind of different kind of how would I say, reporting and measurement methods are then kind of causing a little bit this kind of confusion, because then you charity sector, social enterprises, and so forth, you have really good impact measurement methods in place in many cases, but then they don't necessarily align with the government social value criteria, and that creates kind of confusion, which is unnecessary because eventually it's quite straightforward. So I wanted to kind of go through a couple of things, and we can then discuss this, and I can answer questions later about social value. So first of all, social value is a kind of umbrella concept for social, environmental, economic value. So it's used as a social value, although it might be consisting environmental and other aspects as well. So how do you then deliver social value? There are different views about it. Is it very inherent and everything is already embedded in the organization's operation, or is it something add-on or more strategic or just operational add-on things? But that really doesn't matter. It's kind of semantics. I think the whole point here is that are we making a difference on the ground? Are we solving the challenges in our society? And what kind of impact we then inherently have on those challenges. But we at What Impact advise organizations always that this kind of traditional communication with inherently has always involved VCSEs is one aspect of social value delivery, but also as many of you probably as a VCSE organization, you also sell something. You have maybe something that could be bought, maybe it's your expertise, your services, maybe you have products or something. So actually your type of organization could be added to a supply chain of a company when they would be then supporting your cause throughout commercial partnership. Also, sometimes companies or private sector organizations feel that they cannot really hire, let's say, people from disadvantaged backgrounds or apprentices or something. They don't operate in that kind of industry, or they are geographically not present in some location. So they kind of feel that they cannot fill these kind of obligations. But yes, VCSE sector has a lot of different operational models and offer a lot of employment and training related projects to support. Therefore, companies now can support VCSEs to actually fulfill their employment related social value requirements, although they wouldn't do that in-house, but they would be supporting then these organizations. And same applies to environmental or sustainable practices. Sometimes, especially these kind of knowledge related companies, consultancies, IT sector, and so forth, they cannot really reduce like carbon footprint in production anymore. So there is not really environmental things what they could be doing. But then again, VCSE sector kind of comes along, and there are a lot of different kind of projects and initiatives that can be supported by these organizations, and this again creates opportunities for charities, social enterprises, and local initiatives. And what impact is this kind of a matchmaker in these partnership-related social value engagements? Like we always say to the private sector organizations that we cannot help them directly to reduce carbon footprint or advise what kind of apprentices they should be hiring, but we can connect them with organizations like you, where they can then deliver these kind of social value to the collaboration with you. So a little bit about government's social value model, which is central government model, very similar to most popular model, which is called TOMS, which is used in many local governments, which is not like a government requirement, it's just widely used. But whatever the social value framework is, that the procurement-related social value is connected to, it pretty much covers similar kind of themes, which you can see here. So obviously, whether it's central government, local government, NHS, there are well-being related outcome targets. There's a lot of equal opportunity, inclusiveness type of outcomes, climate change, of course, then economic inequality or kind of direct employment. And still there might be some COVID-related aftermath challenges that are being tackled. And these kind of, if you think about these kind of outcome criteria, you as a professional VCSE understand that there are lots and lots, and most of the VCSE courses can be somehow connected to these outcomes. We've been, as an organization, been in advisory role in various projects where we've been helping the private sector organizations and different products like our product, but also other products, to kind of connect traditional charitable causes, I would say, to these government's social value criteria, because these, as you see, are super high level, and private sector definitely is not like a specialist in kind of pinpointing which exact cause in the charitable sector and what kind of a project would exactly fill in certain criteria in the government framework or other frameworks. And this is kind of what I think it's something that you can eventually kind of be of help for organizations when you can kind of help them to understand what kind of high-level outcomes your work could be then helping those private sector organizations to deliver. So this is, I'll explain this a little bit in example ways. So if we go through this central government social value model, for instance, it had like 5 themes, and then there are 8 policy outcomes. And then after the certain these kind of a theme, they have one kind of a policy outcome, and then they have these kind of even more detailed description what it could be. So these are very kind of high level, as I said, demonstrate action to support health and well-being, including physical and mental health in the contract workplace and then in communities. So this kind of would suit various kind of social enterprise, charity, local initiative projects, and how we then connect these kind of your type of organizations to these criteria, which might be just given to certain companies who are bidding for tenders. We help you identify your outcomes, which are called goals on our platform, kind of on your profile very clearly. And also we then help you kind of pinpoint what kind of beneficiaries you are targeting, what kind of work you are doing, in what kind of courses you are working in, and even more importantly, we have the areas of operation, which is very important. And at this moment, the geographical location is key, not where your organization is registered or where you have your office. It's about where your beneficiaries are located, or what is kind of the reach of your work, where maybe it's environmental work, what area, geographical area, you are helping. And that is important because if let's say a company is applying for tender or operating as a contractor already, and they would be, let's say, let's take like an example, like in Surrey County, they are bidding for Guildford Borough County Council tender. Guildford Borough County Council would require the beneficiaries of these kind of a charitable partnership to be located in Guildford area, or at least mostly in Guildford area. If you were to, then have a lot of beneficiaries in some other area in the same county, that wouldn't be kind of considered in aggregate, which is kind of funny and ridiculous, because you don't think about your work, of course, like that. You are helping the people in certain area just because there is a need and something is close by, and you are not always looking at the county lines or council lines or something like that. But that's how it goes in the procurement, and that's why it's very important that when you're displaying your work on our platform, or even on your own website and social media and stuff, you could be presenting these, first of all, the beneficiaries, kind of what kind of outcomes you are trying to achieve, and in what geographical area your beneficiaries are, and that would help then organizations to instantly kind of see whether you are a potential partner. I was talking about the bidding stage, that of course companies might be bidding for hundreds of tenders on annual basis, but they obviously wouldn't be winning then all. So this requires quite a lot of work from those companies who are creating those social value bids for every single tender, but also it is something that kind of impacts you, because if they always contact you, or all of you, and asking all kind of ideas and whatnot, it will create a lot of work, and yet you wouldn't be knowing if the company then wins the tender, and are you getting a partner, because these partnerships in certain level are very like a contract related. But in our platform, the whole kind of matchmaking mechanism, the profiles and the data, what you have, kind of takes away this burden from you, because everything is there. You don't have to do anything really. Maybe answer a message saying that, yeah, let's connect, or yes, our project is still running, or something like that. But this is kind of in a planning stage, very much, kind of enough. And then, of course, when you start to deliver, and the company maybe wins the tender or decides to run the project itself, then you have everything already in place. You have already kind of clearly agreed what is being done and what is the resource that you're going to be getting, and so forth. So then it's just about management and coordination, and that makes it quite smooth. What is then the impact reporting, and why is it important? I'm very happy to have a discussion like after this and hear what kind of impact reporting mechanisms you have, because we know that VCSE sector is very much, geared to reporting, because there's been years and years of training for your type of organization, and talks about how, of course, it's important to know what your outcomes and impact is in order to you even develop your work forward. But in order this data to become relevant to your supporters in their maybe ESG reporting or CSR reporting, or in public procurement, it should be kind of aligned with the frameworks what they are using. So our impact reporting system, what we have built to our platform, is this kind of semi-automated system that it captures all the data of your operations, your projects, what this kind of a supporter gave you, when to, and so forth. Everything comes automatically to the report. And you are controlling this reporting because you are the one who actually delivers the impact on the ground. So you literally push a button and say, I'm reporting on this project. And if you have several supporters on the same project, the same report goes to all of them, the supporters, but tailored with their data. So you don't have to do anything like tailoring or start from the scratch and stuff. Everything is there. And it describes, in detail your operations, the activity, as I said, who gave and what to you, and when are you reporting. And then you have two options to choose from. You have short or longer version of the report, and you then fill in kind of your impact data. And you don't have to here, and that's not the purpose, that you would evaluate what exactly somebody's, let's say, skills-based volunteering contributed to the project, or what was done by exactly for that £5,000 or something. You will be reporting on the progress of the project, what you're running there anyway, and that kind of tells how the whole project is moving forward and what kind of impact you are creating on the ground as an organization. And it clearly states here in what I'm pinpointing what this particular company or organization gave to you for that project. So nobody can overclaim, kind of taking over like your whole project, although they just gave maybe, 10 days of volunteering. And you don't have to kind of do that kind of a reporting against every single donation, what was achieved with it. You are reporting the progress of the project, because the impact on the ground is the key, not exactly the partnership what you created and the impact of that to the project. It's more of what is the change being made in our society and benefits to the people. And in this reporting, it's a very easy to fill. It's very well guided. It follows social impact logic model. So it clearly states, what was given, inputs, outputs, outcomes, indirect outcomes, and impact. You can pinpoint how did you measure and got the data. You can add different kind of attachments and prove where you got the data, but also the methodology can be observation or kind of what your beneficiaries have been saying or something like that. We are not judging the quality of data or how did you measure it, because we know that every single organization have a different kind of a method of operations, different kinds of beneficiaries and operational models, and there are also a lot of privacy things around certain type of operations and so forth. So you will be reporting on the data you have, and the short report takes literally maybe 10 minutes to fill, maximum 15. And then the longer report might be taking a little bit longer, and we usually just recommend that to be filled for donations over £3,000 value or £3,000 to £5,000 value. And but anyway, either one, it's very kind of straightforward. Also, these reports can be shared as a link, or then you can download them as a Word document. And it gives you a very good structure for impact reporting in general. And you can use the same structure to report or to other organizations outside of the platform as well. And they can be also shared as link as an example of what kind of collaboration can be done with you. So even if you're negotiating with some kind of a donor or maybe even applying for grants, you could be saying that this is the capability what we can kind of provide to you, and it's a good evidence of your work. As is your profile. Your profile it's very beautiful, and it's a very good good promotional element. So I thought that at this point I would be just displaying a little video. It's a case study of this kind of a partnership with the local charity and a construction company. We could watch this couple of minutes of video so you get a hang of it, what kind of collaborations our platform helps you achieve.
Increasing the impact on LGBT plus young persons' lives. I think we're working with quite a distressed group of young persons because, if you look at LGBT plus population, especially young persons, higher level of isolation and loneliness, higher level of common mental health problems. So all of those indicators are quite high.
We had the challenge of actually identifying what causes we could support. So we're a national contractor. We work all over the country. The uptake wasn't as great as we thought because we weren't reaching out to people, even though we were put on our social media. We were going through our employees. So there was a little bit of a challenge there. So that's where our paths crossed from a what impact point of view. And suddenly there was this platform that kind of could channel that message out to the wider country, all them organisations that are looking for support. And as a result, we got hundreds of applications just for that offer alone. And on there, we've got numerous offers from volunteering, from cash donations. So it was great, hundreds of applications to work through. I got in touch with all the different organisations, the ones that kind of met the criteria. And we had a discussion. It's employee-led. So I took back to the employee committee a shortlist. And it was the employee committee off the back of the applications that decided out of that kind of shortlist, which project they felt Novus could have the biggest impact on.
One of the kind of aspects of those conversations, I think, when we came across Novus was that we didn't feel that the building is doing justice to young persons. I think I remember, Kevin, when you first came in to the building, I was like, well, this is not what we want young persons to feel like when they come in and, it's drabby and it's badly capped and it's, all those things. Well, we have had a roof falling in between. So, like that kind of stuff. So it didn't send the right message because we're very much focused on the relationship with the young persons, and the young person has to feel a level of respect.
As Ukas highlighted to begin with, it was about a kind of a space that was tired and wasn't inspiring the young people that use that. But then what kind of gave even more urgency, and that kind of filtered through to the employee judging panel really was there was a leak in the roof and the roof collapsed, and some people rely on this community centre for their support.
Okay, so I'm going to cut here. We have other kind of case studies and videos on our YouTube channel. So it's just what impact, and there's quite a lot of material. Also, we have a resource center on our website. There are podcasts and all kind of blog posts and so forth. Feel free to go through, and we are always looking for our platform VCSEs to collaborate with and create also content together. So if you decide to come to the platform and you have ideas for content related collaboration, feel free to present them. And in the end here, I wanted to say that, any VCSEs coming to the platform looking for resources as donations or volunteers, that's free. So VCSEs never pay for the platform service. Okay, this is now what I kind of thought of saying, and now it would be a good time to have this kind of a chat, and happy to discuss any element of private sector collaboration.